powerful derecho moved through Oklahoma early Monday morning, knocking down tree limbs, damaging homes, and taking out power for tens of thousands of customers across the state. The biggest threat from the overnight storm system was widespread, destructive straight-line winds. But meteorologists with the National Weather Service are investigating whether a tornado touched down in the Choctaw-Harrah area. The NWS said that circulation was observed in that area. Crews were headed out there Monday morning to look for telltale signs that a tornado reached the ground. In western Oklahoma, the Mesonet station at Hinton recorded a wind gust of 102 miles per hour just after 1 a.m. Throughout central and western Oklahoma, Mesonet stations saw wind gusts top 60, 70, and 80 miles an hour. The NWS in Norman said on Monday that after discussions with the Storm Prediction Center, the storms that hit Oklahoma late Sunday and early Monday morning would be preliminarily classified as a derecho. The Oklahoma Climatological Survey, which runs the Mesonet series of weather stations, said 2 readings from Hinton of over 100 miles per hour made the state's top 20 highest recorded wind speeds. Across Oklahoma, there were reports of damage to homes, along with power lines, trees, and limbs knocked down. According to the Oklahoma Department of Emergency Management, the City of Edmond Emergency Management reported power outages, 3 structure fires due to lightning strikes, and building damage to the roof at Oklahoma Christian Academy. In McLoud, officials reported power pole and transformer damage at the Kickapoo Tribe's secondary administration building and partial roof damage at their mental health building. The City of Tuttle Emergency Management reported storm-related wind damage to the roof of an apartment complex at 7 East Bond Street in Tuttle. The damage impacted more than a dozen residents. There were also reports of damage to homes in Reno, where homeowner Sherry Murray said she got the late-night alert on her phone, but ignored it at first. When a second alert came through, she realized it was a tornado warning. She and her husband rushed to their neighbor's safe room, and within 10 minutes, trees began coming down outside. The winds tore off her roof and caused damage inside the home. Murray said members of the community have called and shown up to support them as they clean up the mess left by the storm. Canadian County Emergency Management reported about 8 to 10 homes were damaged by high winds in Reno, along with downed trees and power lines. In northwest Oklahoma between Woodward and Mooreland, photos and videos shared online showed a line of rail cars belonging to BNSF Railway that derailed because of high winds. Additional damage was reported in Fairview, Wetumka, Blackwell, Lake Eufaula, and Ada. In Kay County, emergency personnel had to stage a water rescue from the Chikaskia River after someone illegally drove around a barricade. The Oklahoma Department of Emergency Management said it was in contact with local emergency managers and the governor's office regarding the impact of the storms. If your home or business was damaged, you can report it online at damage.ok.gov. Reporting damage helps authorities understand the full impact of the storms and may help connect you to resources. Forecasters from the National Weather Service are predicting a slight chance of severe thunderstorms forming across northern Oklahoma on Tuesday, June 23rd. The cool front headed down from the Rocky Mountains will engage warm, moist air over Kansas and Oklahoma, which in turn is likely to trigger severe thunderstorms. Risks associated with this weather are large hail and damaging wind gusts. These storms are most likely to form in the evening and overnight hours on Tuesday. The atmosphere over the Red River has stalled, but could start moving again by Wednesday. If that happens, some parts of Oklahoma could see thunderstorms late that afternoon and into the evening hours on June 24th. Chances of severe weather on Wednesday will be marginal. The biggest risk seems to be the heat, which is forecast to be in the upper 80s across most of Oklahoma, reaching into the 90s in southern cities like Durant and Lawton. Temperatures will feel hot and muggy due to high humidity. These conditions will persist throughout the week. Forecasters believe that although the humidity and heat will be high, Oklahoma will likely avoid any heat-related alerts. By Friday, much of Oklahoma could see temperatures above 90 degrees, with the weekend highs reaching 100. As of the latest forecast, there is no precipitation expected this weekend. The National Weather Service says it was a derecho that slammed Oklahoma overnight, spawning at least 3 tornadoes. We have all heard of the phrase, the perfect storm. Well, for a derecho to occur, that is exactly what has to happen. The experts News 4 spoke with say the power in these storms has the potential to cause the same or even more damage than a tornado. This may be a new term to some, said Rick Smith, coordination meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Norman. We don't have a lot of them around here, but it's essentially just a very severe line of thunderstorms. Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mike Morgan says conditions had to be just right for a derecho to happen. You're basically combining early summertime heat and thick humidity with a jet stream that looks more like early May, said Morgan. You get those two together, you get an energized complex of storms. In El Reno, the city says at least 6 homes were destroyed. One man says his mom rode out the storm. She was pretty frantic, said Jeff Eisenhower. She was like, I think my roof is gone, there's water pouring into the house. It's a mess, it's a disaster. Took a little bit of damage on the roof. A lot of sheetrock fell from the ceiling. It looked like it snowed in the house from the insulation and everything. Across the rest of the metro, countless power poles and trees were snapped. I had already been up, and I thought the front was already over and laid back down with my dogs and heard this and popped out of bed, said Ryan Noling, who lives in the village. I knew it was a tree. I didn't know what one. In Southeast OKC, a business took the brunt of Mother Nature. It's pretty scary, said Salmen Jamshed, an Oklahoma Wholesale Outlet worker. We came this morning, and it was all flooded inside in 2 big old holes in the roof. Lost full power, some damage on the new warehouse we made, if you see on the west side of that. All the fences, we could not open these gates over there and over here. Forecasters say situations like this prove it is not just tornadoes we need to watch out for. In the warnings that we were issuing, we were really emphasizing the potential for damaging winds, said Smith. So, many times we focused so much on tornadoes, but we forget that these types of thunderstorms that we had Monday morning can produce winds stronger than a lot of the tornadoes that we see here in Oklahoma. Tens of thousands of customers were without power in Oklahoma. The storms caused some significant damage just west of the metro in El Reno. Sirens going off in El Reno, News 4 storm tracker Mark Dillard said early Monday morning while out chasing storms. It was Mother Nature's wake-up call for just about everyone in the state. Dillard was one of many out forewarning folks Monday in El Reno as high winds and driving rain blew through. It's definitely something I never expected to see, El Reno resident Jeff Eisenhower said. Eisenhower stepped into the sunlight Monday morning after it all had passed and saw that his mom's home had taken a big hit. She was like, the roof is gone. There's water pouring into the house. It's a mess. It's a disaster, he said. Fortunately, she was in her shelter. There were similar stories around town, too. The tornado warning that came through, it helped us out. We had about 10 minutes and we gathered some essentials, dove down into our cellar, another El Reno resident said. He took his family and got them all underground. You could just hear it rolling over, he said. You can see all the lightning and debris coming through the little vent hole. He came outside to see a big tree ripped out of the ground and lying on its side. You can look at the top half of this tree. I found it down there in the creek, he said. Many Oklahomans were in the same boat. Some, of course, are a little luckier than others. However, those along this path are now on their own path to rebuilding. It's a little gut-wrenching, Eisenhower said. My kids, they grew up here. A lot of memories. They think it's a total demolish, waste of things. I don't think so. Everything can be built back. The National Weather Service confirmed that at least 3 tornadoes touched down in El Reno, Harrah, and Wetumka. Preliminary assessments performed by the department show EF0 damage in Harrah and EF1 damage in Wetumka. Surveying is still ongoing in El Reno, with no preliminary rating released as of Monday evening. Governor Kevin Stitt declared a state of emergency for Beaver, Canadian, Cherokee, Creek, Grady, Hughes, Kay, McIntosh, Okfuskee, Oklahoma, Ottawa, and Tulsa counties. The declaration directs state agencies to make resources available to help with recovery efforts.
Debris all
Damage assessments are still ongoing. Oklahomans can help by quickly assessing any damage on their property and reporting it to state and local emergency managers, Stitt said in his declaration. Thank you to the first responders who are working quickly to clear debris and keeping Oklahomans safe. The American Red Cross was in Grady County, meeting with residents impacted by the damaged apartment complex in Tuttle. Volunteers will be there on Tuesday for intake operations and to assess needs. The American Red Cross is also assessing needs in Canadian County. Oklahoma Baptist Disaster Relief is available on request for chainsaw and cleanup teams. Call 1-844-690-9198 or visit www.okdisasterhelp.org to request assistance. BNeighbor.org provides access to local support, including financial assistance, food pantries, medical care, and other free or reduced cost help. For Oklahoma residents seeking non-emergency disaster or health and human service information, please contact 211. Services are available 24 hours a day by dialing 211. At the height of the storm, there were 83,021 electric customers without power. As of 3:20 p.m. Monday, there were 23,130 customers without power across Oklahoma. OG&E released a statement to KOCO on Monday following the storms. Following Sunday night's severe storms, 74% of customers who lost power have been restored. Crews will continue to work around the clock to restore power to the remaining 17,300 customers without service, OG&E said in a statement. About 1,400 restoration and support personnel responded to assist with storm recovery, including 524 line workers, vegetation crews, and damage assessors. Meanwhile, the large shipping containers that are used to help block the wind on normal days for people enjoying the park were knocked over during the storms early Monday. The stacked containers weigh thousands of pounds, showing just how strong the storm was. A manager at the Wheeler district told KOCO5 that there were some power outages in the residential areas, and the storm impacted ongoing construction. It's unknown whether or how long Wheeler Park may be closed because of the storm damage, but officials said they will need a crane to get the shipping containers back in place.